Hello everybody. So now I am going to start new chapter, that is plant respiration and photosynthesis. So you know that all organisms need food. Why they need food? For the growth and energy. Because without food the body will not grow, the mind will not grow, and without food they will not get the energy to do their day-to-day work. Okay. So, green plants can prepare their own food, and that is why green plants are called as what? Autotrophs. Auto means self and trophs means nourishment. Means they get their nourishment themselves only. Okay, they are not depending on others. And this type of nutrition is called as what? Autotrophic nutrition. These plants first form what? Simple soluble carbohydrates. And what is the simple soluble carbohydrates? Glucose. And then later form complex insoluble carbohydrate. What is that insoluble carbohydrates? Starch. Clear? So if the question is simple soluble carbohydrates, your answer will be glucose. And when it is when you have to give one example of a complex insoluble carbohydrate, then your answer will be what? Starch. So, plant first form simple carbohydrates, means glucose, and then they form insoluble carbohydrates, that is a starch, in the presence of what? Sunlight and chlorophyll, with the help of water and carbon dioxide also. And as this process is carried out in the presence of light, that is why this process is called as what? Photosynthesis. So why this, if the question is why this process is called photosynthesis? Because it is carried out in water, light. Therefore, photosynthesis is the process. This is the definition of photosynthesis. Clear? So later on also, in the next slides, you will get the exact definition of photosynthesis. So this is just to understand that photosynthesis is the process by which green plants capture solar energy and use it to convert water, carbon dioxide and water into simple sugar. For preparing food, plants require the following things. What are the things that plants require? So the first is water. And water, what is the source of water? Soil. So like this you get the question. So what plants require for the process of photosynthesis, and what are the sources of those requirements? So plants require water, and the source is water, soil. Plants require carbon dioxide, and the water is air. Source is air. Plants require chlorophyll, and the source is water contained in the leaf. And plants require energy, and what is the source? Sunlight. Clear? So this is the diagram of photosynthesis, site of photosynthesis. So you can see this is the plant getting carbon dioxide from the air, getting light from the sun, getting oxygen from the air. Means not getting, give oxygen in the atmosphere. Okay. So now what is photosynthesis? This is the exact definition of photosynthesis, that during the term photosynthesis means combining by light. During photosynthesis, water is combined with carbon dioxide in the presence of light and chlorophyll to produce glucose and sunlight. So you can write the process in which water is combined with carbon dioxide. Like this you can add the words. Okay. So instead of during photosynthesis, you can write the process in which water is combined with carbon dioxide in the presence of light and chlorophyll to produce glucose and oxygen is called what? Is called photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is represented as follows. This is the chemical equation, and it is very important. You have to learn also. Here you can see carbon dioxide and water combined in the presence of water, chlorophyll and sunlight, and gives glucose and oxygen. And the entire process gets completed in a series of complex chemical reactions. So it seems that it is one line, is in one line you have written the chemical equation, chemical reaction, but it is not that. It takes what? Many steps. It is a complex chemical reaction. Now next is photosynthesis occurred in the occur in leaf, but in leaf also where it occurs. So in leaf it occurs in mesophyll cells. Clear? And these mesophyll cells contain numerous plastid called as what? Chloroplast. And these chloroplasts contain the green pigment. What is the name of the green pigment? Chlorophyll. And this pigment is very, very important for the process of photosynthesis. Why? Because this pigment absorbs the sunlight, which provides energy for the process of photosynthesis. The entire process of photosynthesis occurs inside the chloroplast of the leaf. These cells are more abundant on the upper sides of the leaf, where they can what? On the upper sides of the leaf they are present, so they can receive more sunlight. And on the lower surface of the leaf, numerous pores are present, and those numerous pores are called as what? Stomata, which open into air cavities inside the leaf. Carbon dioxide from the air diffuses into the leaf through these stomata and reaches the chlorophyll containing cells and chloroplast. Clear? Now, next you can see this is the section of a leaf. Here is upper epidermis. Here is upper epidermis. This is the phloem that helps in transporting the food. Then this is the xylem that helps in transporting the water and mineral, and this is the stomata. Okay. Now next. Now we will study in detail about the stomata. Stomata are tiny openings found mainly where on the lower surface of the leaf. So this line is important. Where this stomata present, stomata is present or stomata is found mainly on the lower surface of the leaves. And these openings are surrounded by a pair of bean-shaped cell. And what is the name of that bean-shaped cells? Guard cell. Clear? They are called as what? Guard cells. Okay, you can see here bean-shaped. This is what? Bean-shaped. Here it is bean-shaped. Clear? Now next, we have studied about the occurrence, where it found. Now we will study about what? The function. So function of, what is the function of the stomata? To let in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, for which process? Photosynthesis, and release oxygen. During the daytime, what happens? Means how it works, how it does the function. So during the daytime, the guard cells absorb water and stomata remain open, and at night the water is drawn out of the guard cells and stomata remain closed. Clear? So like this, stomata means guard cells helps in opening and closing of the stomata. The leaves are adapted to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Why leaves are only, means the question comes in our mind sometimes, that why leaves are only responsible for the process of photosynthesis. So the reason is, means the answer is that they have broad, wide and flat surface to absorb sunlight. And the second one, that leaves bear minute pores known as stomata on both surface to facilitate the exchange of gases between the leaf and the atmosphere. And that is why what? That is why we can say that the leaves are Leaves are only adapted to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Now next, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere also enters into the palisade mesophyll through the stomata. The diffusion of carbon dioxide becomes very easy in each and every cell. Because of what? Because of the presence of large intercellular spaces among the cells of the leaves. Next is palisade mesophyll absorbs maximum sunlight as it is situated below the upper epidermis. So which part of the leaf absorbs maximum sunlight? Palisade mesophyll. Okay, and why? Because they are present just below the upper epidermis. Each cell of the palisade mesophyll contains numerous chloroplasts, and the chlorophyll pigments found inside these chloroplasts absorbs sunlight. So these are the reasons that photosynthesis occurs in the leaves. There is a continuous supply of water and minerals in every cell through the extensive network of veins within the leaf lamina. Clear? So this extensive network of veins that also helps in the transportation, clear, of water, that is very important for the process of photosynthesis. Water coming from the veins enters cell by which process? By the process of osmosis. Veins also help in the translocation of prepared food to other parts of the plant. The oxygen produced at the end of the photosynthesis is released into the atmosphere through the stomata. So because of these reasons we can say that leaves are well adapted for all this. Now the next, how does photosynthesis occurs? All plants have a transport system and that transport system is called as what? Vascular system. The vascular system is composed of two types of tissue, xylem and phloem. Xylem transports water and mineral upwards from roots to the leaves. Upwards means what? From roots to the leaves. The sunlight falling on the leaf absorbed by the chlorophyll to provide energy, and this energy is used to split water molecule into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions, and subsequently a series of chemical reaction occurs. So in this process a series of chemical reactions occur. Clear? So you can understand like this that the first in that series, the first step that is that oxygen from the hydroxyl ion is released where? Into the air. Okay, and next is hydrogen ions combine with carbon dioxide and form what? Glucose. And you know the glucose is the simplest form of sugar. Then the phloem. Phloem transport glucose made in the leaves to other parts of the plant in the form of what? Sucrose. So there is a formation of what? Glucose. But when it is transported to different parts of the plant, then what? In the form of what? In the form of sucrose. Okay. Now next is factors affecting photosynthesis. Many factors affect photosynthesis, but three factors that are most important are carbon dioxide, light and suitable temperature. Suitable temperature means not higher than 40 degrees Celsius. Why not higher than 40 degrees Celsius? Because it slows down and can even stop the enzyme action. So all the three factors are what? Interdependent, and each of these factors limits the other. Interdependent means what? They are depending on each other. Okay. So for example, if CO2 is less and the other two are more, there will be less photosynthesis. Similarly, less light will slow down the process even if there is a lot of carbon dioxide. Means what? When one factor is correct, one factor is good and other factor is not enough, then it limits the the process of photosynthesis. Clear? Similarly, if the temperature is low, there will be less photosynthesis even if sufficient amount of carbon dioxide and sunlight are present. So it is very clear that all three factors are what? Interdependent on each other. Clear? Too much light beyond a certain time, certain limit destroys chlorophyll and the process of photosynthesis adversely affected. Okay, so now we will study about the end products of photosynthesis. So there are two end products of photosynthesis. What is that? Glucose and oxygen. Clear? Glucose we get in the form of food, and oxygen, you know what is oxygen? What is the importance of oxygen? Without that, can we live? No, we cannot survive. Okay. Now, next we will study in detail about the glucose and the oxygen. The sugar means what? Glucose is either immediately utilized by the cells or stored in the form of insoluble starch. And oxygen, some of the oxygen released may be used in respiration in the leaf cells, but major portion of it is not required, hence diffuses out into the atmosphere through the stomata. Clear? Because these stomata helps in the exchange of gases. In a way, even this oxygen is not a waste because it is a vital gas, as all organisms need oxygen for respiration. So not only human beings, all living organisms need oxygen for respiration. For their survival, oxygen is very, very important. So this much is only for this video. More topics are there and that I will solve in my next video. Till then, have a nice day.